Welcome everybody to today's session, and the coaching today will focus on day 25 morning. And the key point says, are you fit to run your dreams? Are you fit to run your dreams? Do the analysis and ensure you are competent to run your dream. Carry out analysis. It will help you to stay away from things that will cost you your dreams in a few years to come. And I want us to focus on doing habit analysis to identify those things, or how to identify those habits, those things in your life that if you don't take care of them immediately, they can cost you your dreams tomorrow, few years to come. In the first part of the key point is talking about competence. And of course, there is a session that we had a few days ago on how to build competence to achieve your dreams and how to discover your unique intelligence to achieve your dreams. So if you did not attend that session, you can check, indicate in the group. I'll share that link with you, or maybe it's available on the YouTube channel. You can go through. But let us focus on the second part, which is an habit analysis, which is, I think, is one of the most important things to do. Okay, let me tell you something. Having dreams is actually very easy. It's actually very easy for you to sit and imagine your career and your business dream and write it down. It's very easy to pray and God can begin to speak to you and direct you on what to do with your life as far as career and business is concerned. But the most difficult part in every dream is making that dream to come to pass. And to make a dream come to pass can take you years, can take you 50 years, or even till the day you die. It's a lifelong employment as far as your dreams are concerned, because you will keep working on it until you exit the world. But in a society where distractions are there, as humans, in a society where things are designed to distract us, or even our habits and our lifestyle or certain lifestyle, they can push us away from our dreams. And that is why taking out time to carry out habit analysis becomes very important. There is a need to carry out a not to do habit analysis. What does that mean? You begin to look at your life and begin to ask yourself this very important question. What are those habits in my life that I need to stop doing? I like to call it not to do habit analysis. There are things you need to stop doing. The first ever time I ever did this, I will share this, was 23rd December 2012. If I was celebrating an anniversary, I was celebrating this year now. It was December like this, 23rd December 2012, when I sat in the house, in my one-room house. And I just came back from hanging out with friends. So I actually drank alcohol that night. So I came back very late to the house. And after that, there was, of course, it's feasting season. That time I was still behaving like every other person, where December is a month of feasting and all of that. I had not grown to understand that December is a transitional month. I always tell young people, December is not the month of enjoyment. It's not the month of feasting. December is the month of sacrifice and transition. It's the month where you begin to sacrifice your time, sacrifice in the place of prayers. You begin to plan how to transition from one season to another. And this, luckily, by the help of God, I was doing a not to do habit analysis by error. I did not plan about it. And that was how I made a decision that changed the rest of my life. Just the habit of drinking alcohol alone costs you a lot. Number one, time. Number two, you waste money drinking. Number three, you can get an accident because you're always out late. A fight can break out in a beer parlor, and I mean, there are many times we have heard of fights breaking out and somebody mistakenly being stabbed and they die. Or no, there's a lot of negative things get to happen when you are full, when you are an alcoholic, right? So whatever happened, I sat on my table and I made a decision. And I asked a question, how will alcohol, because I like to write a lot. Sometimes when I want to make a decision, I get an empty sheet of paper and I write it because I think better when I write in certain things. So I drew a table, left and right. On the left, I wrote advantages of alcohol. On the right, I wrote disadvantages. Then I asked a simple question: how will alcohol help me to go to where I want to go? Basically, that was a time. That was the time where I was doing like a not to do habits analysis. And that was how I stopped drinking alcohol. There are other not to do habits that you need to take time and work on it, okay? Because if you don't do it, there are habits that will help you stay away from your dreams and cost you your dreams. Carrying out a habit analysis to stop bad habits involves examining your thoughts, examining your behaviors, and your pattern of behavior that contribute to a negative or undesirable result. Follow me carefully. So when you are carrying out a habit analysis, you are analyzing your life. You are examining your thoughts. What are those thoughts that I have that can contribute negatively as far as my dreams are concerned? Start writing them down. Like I shared in the WhatsApp group this morning, do you have poverty thinking or prosperity thinking? Poverty thinking is a negative habit that you need to stop. Do you have thought of, I don't know, getting jealous of people? Do you have thought of womanizing? Do you have, what are those thoughts? I'm just thinking of, what are those negative thoughts that you need to stop? Stop them. I write them down and start taking steps to stop them. Behavior. What are those behaviors, especially patterns of behavior? Yes, patterns of behavior are very dangerous. Look at your life. What is that pattern that you have in a way that you always behave in a particular way? And it's very negative and can hurt your dreams. You need to start establishing a system to disrupt that negative pattern of behavior that will cost your dream. And majority of people have it. We all have it. It's either you stop it or you replace it with a better person. For example, when I used to still hang out with friends a lot, that means that mostly every Saturday evening and Sunday evening, I'm normally out with friends. That's a pattern. It happens consistently every weekend. So I need to disrupt it. You understand? So it is important for us to understand this. And one thing about negative habits is that negative habits have triggers. Yes, and that's why your habit analysis is not complete when you have not identified the triggers or the circumstances that lead to that bad habit. For example, you will just sit in the house, you are not planning to go hang out with friends, and then a friend just calls you, hey, pa, let us go to this, there's a program here, let's go hang out here. That's a trigger. So there are some friends that you have around you that their job is for them to trigger a negative habit. You need to find a way to start cutting them off or reducing how you relate with those people. I used to have friends like that. They only text you and call you when there's a drinking program, when there's a shacking program. That's when they call you. So how do you start sorting that out? That friend is a trigger. Every negative habit that you have has a trigger. Okay, so you need to identify it, because by understanding the factors that contribute to a bad habit, you can now develop strategies to break the habit and replace it with a more positive behavior. Replace it with a positive strategy, with a positive factor, which is very important. So quickly, how can you carry out a habit analysis now in a step-by-step process? Number one, you need to identify the habits. Write down all the negative habits that are hurting your dreams. Yours could be too much sleep. That's a negative habit. You sleep around 9 hours, 8 hours of sleep, and you're under 30. Empty bank account, no significant dreams, no significant career. You don't have a dream job. You're not even running a business that makes sense. You are spending time to sleep, hours of sleep. You should be thinking and creating and analyzing and trying to make sure that you are adding value to your life. So identify the negative habits first. Write them down. Write them down. Don't do this with your hands on your jaw. No, be on a paper. Get a journal if possible. Or what I used to do is that I'll get a paper and then my journal will be on the side. When I finish analyzing on the paper, I transfer decisions to my journal. Guys, this life is serious. Intentionality. I used to even till now, I still do it. Sometimes when I'm listening to a podcast or I'm reading a book, I have notes that I'm taking. If I open to you my desktop, you see not parts of different things that as I'm listening, as I'm reading, I am taking down notes. I am taking down notes. Like if you are listening to me right now, your mind cannot contain the things I will teach in the next 1 hour. And that's where taking down notes come in. And most time when you're taking down these notes, you are making decisions. You are personalizing the things that you are learning. Identify the negative habits by writing them down. Number 2, identify the triggers of the habit. What are the triggers? What are the events? What are the circumstances? What are the individuals that triggers the negative habit? You need to start stopping those triggers. You need to start eliminating those triggers. You need to start making sure that those triggers are handled. Create strategies to handle them. You can decide to have an honest conversation with a friend. Look, I want to stop doing this. I've made the decision that I will stop doing this. Or you can block them for a while. Whatever that you can do to make sure that you preserve your destiny. And let me tell you, in the journey of destiny, if you have not come to a place in your life whereby you are very rugged, you take very drastic decisions about the people around your life, then you have not yet become very obsessed with your life and the results you want to see. You still pamper some relationships. Meanwhile, you know they are hurting you. You are not decisive about them. You have not grown. You have not chosen your dreams yet. So what are those triggers? What are those triggers? One of my triggers used to be television. I always tell, I love intelligence movies. There's no any movie around CIA, FBI, investigation, research. I will like. That's why Prison Break, 24 Hours, The Blacklist, Homeland Security. Those are my favorite kind of movies. But I was so addicted to it. I watched Prison Break for 2 days without leaving the house. Forgot to eat. But I had to dash out my television. Disconnected it, carried on my head to my neighbor's house. I said, I dash you my addiction. Take it and destroy your dreams if you want. Right? They were looking at me like a fool. Who at your age dashes out a flat screen television? Who does that? In 2014 or so in Kumbo, in a small town, who does that? That was his first flat screen ever. Right? That was a trigger I identified and I sorted it out. And then number 3, now develop a strategy, which is like part of the number 2 of identifying triggers. Develop a strategy to break the habit. And the best way to do this is replace the negative habit with a positive habit. Find the alternative ways to cope with your negative habits. Seek new ways. Seek new ways. This is where you begin to analyze the patterns. For example, if you know that towards Saturday evenings, your pattern is for you to watch too much movies or hang out with friends. That's a pattern. Now, what can you replace it with? Now, in your action plan, and you have to do this, whatever, state that on Saturday evening, you are doing the following. You can highlight the videos about your industry, videos about the book, videos about whatever. outline some of my previous videos and put, okay, I'm going to watch the following videos on Joybert's channel. Replace it with that. At that time, because when you do that, you now give your subconscious mind and even your conscious mind a task. Your mind now knows. Many people don't know the power of this. Like, for example, who notices that when you go to bed and you're giving your mind a task that you want to wake up at 4 a.m., around that time, sleep starts disappearing. Or around that time, you just notice that, you know, sometimes you just shake and you check your phone, it's like 3:55 or 10 minutes to the time, or it's just slightly different. Anybody has ever experienced that? Yes. Your subconscious mind is because you gave it a goal. As I always say, your mind is a tool. Give it a job. If you don't think, if you don't give your mind a job, your mind will not work. Many a times, as I just look at my to-do list, as my mind snaps the date and the time, that is it. That is it. Okay? So analyze your patterns. Replace your negative habits with new stuff that you want to do. Replace with active stuff, productive things, value engineering activities. Is so powerful. It could be watching YouTube videos that are career-oriented or professionally driven, or reading a book, or doing something, but don't any negative habits, you must replace it, analyze the patterns, and replace it with a new habit, okay? Another thing that you can do, the fourth thing you can do, is it the fifth or the fourth you can do, is learn to gather information about the habits. Yes, I've done this many times. Many times, sometimes I would just read about a particular behavior I'm having. What makes it, that's where psychology comes in. Okay, that's when reading about human psychology comes in. Why should a human being behave like this? Even sometimes I go to the extent of buying a book to read. If there's a book around that topic, a book on psychology around a particular topic, I'll buy the book and read to understand the human behavioral pattern around that thing. Very powerful. So sometimes the more information you know about, like for example, I read it. That's what I do. I started that when I started doing push-ups, because I read a book and I noticed that sport or physical activity helps to build resilience and stamina. So for example, if you are jogging around the field and you set a goal that you will run around the field you run around the field 4 times. I stood in Yaoundé in the Waikele field, University of Yaoundé 1. Yaoundé 1. I always confuse those universities. There's a field that they have. I used to live around Obidi. I'll run to the field and I'll run 5,000 around the field and come back to the house. So that's when I started that stuff doing. I read that when you give yourself a physical exercise, it starts training your mind to build stamina. It trains your mind to build resilience and all of that. So, and I saw that there's a strong relationship between physical exercise and building resilience. I started doing that because I gathered information. I learned, I read a book. Okay, so also gather information. What makes a human being to behave like that, right? The one thing I gathered information was about what used to disturb me was what makes a man, a husband, to be the wife. Started reading about violence and yes, gender-based violence and all of that. So everything about the psychology of men, the triggers that leads to that, because I don't want to do that. So the best to do that is gather information about that negative habit that you don't like. You will now see, you not, people do this because of this funny triggers. No, you start avoiding them. You start training yourself to live above those triggers or above those habits. You get the concept, right? Good. When you do that, it becomes very, very powerful. So please, habits make men. Your habits are either making you or they are destroying you. From your financial habits, from your health habits, from your relationship habits, to your career habits, business, every area of our lives, we have habits. And either your habits are making you or they are destroying you. A man, a woman will never grow beyond their habits. Never. You will never build your dreams beyond the quality of your habits. They are part of your foundation. If you don't get the foundation of your habits right, oh my goodness, your life will struggle. Your life will struggle. So please, as we face out this season, check out before you start next year, what are those negative habits this year that they have held you back? They have seriously held you back. And make up your mind to start addressing them immediately. Immediately, not procrastination. Because in your next year and for the rest of your life, your habits are either making you or they are destroying you. And let me tell you a secret in the journey of success. If you want to see consistent success in your life, be consistent at value creating habits. Maintain habits. Maintain habits. Discipline yourself. Subdue the flesh. Subdue the desires of your soul and fit. If you really desire a beautiful future, then you must go through the pain of subduing and giving up on negative habits. Because here's one thing about negative habits: the body enjoys it, but it destroys the soul and the spirit. Do you know that? Yeah. The body enjoys the negative habits, but it destroys the spirit man, it destroys your soul, and it destroys your future. Very dangerous. And if you want to go spiritual more, the enemy takes advantage of negative habits and destroy people a lot. Yes, because he knows if the devil can catch your habits and influence it, you are finished. You are finished. Okay, so pray about it, make a conscious decision, and talk to your mentor to hold you accountable, and whatever you can do, but you need to be proactive about this and make sure that you carry out this habit analysis, not to do habit analysis and start making taking decisive actions around them so you can make a beautiful life. Remember, your habits are either making you or they are destroying you. Okay, good. And when you do that, trust me, you will have an incredible life. All right.